All right. So I should be recording the screen that I am sharing. Let's make sure. You guys still see my screen okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right. So welcome to Ypsi STEM Middle College. Oh, I didn't change this from my previous. It's not the info night, it's the info afternoon. All right. Use this in a presentation we did a couple months ago. So the STEM, you probably hear STEM often, and usually just with one M. Our STEM program, includes the science, technology, engineering, math, and includes a manufacturing focus. So you'll kind of see how that ties in. Now, just because that's our focus of our school, or kind of what we're part of our name, it doesn't mean you have to be going in a STEM career or have that be your interest in order to be part of the school. It's just you'll see how it ties into what we do. I mean, we do want to encourage that focus. As that is, we see the opportunities for careers and and just one of the things that sets us apart from other schools is that focus. There we go. So we're just gonna go through kind of a little bit of stuff about why Ypsi STEM Middle College, why I choose that. Staff introductions. We got Mr. Kim here for this one. And then a little history and mission kind of our school. What does that look like to blend high school and college? There are a couple other early middle colleges in the area, and kind of what makes ours different. So sports and stuff we have in place. And so we'll talk about that. And then I don't think we have any students here on this one that are joining us. On my last meeting, we had a couple students that shared. And then, how do you enroll? So if you, depending on where you're at, in the district, or some people are joining from outside of the district, what's the steps, just to kind of show you what that looks like. And then some upcoming opportunities. We got some things going on this summer. And then question and answer, and at that point, I'll stop recording. And then we'll do a little tour of the building if you guys want it, depending on what you want to see. So, I go back to my other screen here. All right, so Mr. Kim. He's went to the other room. So we're right now. I'm in. Oh, there you are. Yeah. This is Mr. Kim. I'll let you introduce yourself.
I'm Mr. Kim. I'm the manufacturing teacher. I'm also just going to be doing intro to engineering and some CAD as well. I have taught biology, chemistry, and maybe next year science. So that's about it. And here is the manufacturing lab. CNC machines, lathes. We have some CNC computer generated shop bots, things like that, and mills that we can actually create and make stuff with, for whether it's for manufacturing, like an advanced manufacturing class, or for robotics.
Thank you, Mr. Kim. So Mr. Kim and I also, we'll talk about robotics a little bit because that is a foundational part of our school, but we both are mentors with our robotics team. So we'll talk about that in a minute. I don't think anyone else popped in. I had another teacher who was going to try to come. So the mission of our school is to prepare students for success in college, career, and life through mentor relationships by providing real-world STEM-based experiences. So, we'll kind of talk about that whole transition from high school to college and how that blends together. But the idea is we kind of do that through mentoring, teachers with students. We have advisories where, kind of those mentoring relationships are formed between some of our programming. We are getting mentors from various careers, or engineers, or programmers, or, anywhere at different fields. We have people coming in to work with our students. So that's another kind of focus of that. And a big part is the exposing and providing real world STEM-based experiences. So whether it's through the classes, or through trips, or through guest speakers, or then also like the path through the college, through WCC and into whatever career or pathway they want to take to a university. So we expose students to those. And so some, last year I had a student who was in my intro to engineering class, and she told me I'd never thought about becoming an engineer until I took this class. So now she's like thinking about doing engineering as a career. So you don't know. That's we'll talk about that, I guess, when we get to expectations, or the requirements. So Grizzly Robotics, I'll talk about that a little bit. Our robotics program is kind of the foundation of our school. Our robotics team has actually been around. Team 66 was a Willow Run team, has been around for 20 some years. And then we also have a team, robotics team, it's team 470, which was out at Ypsi High School before the districts merged. We're currently just running one team right now, but we have the capacity, hopefully someday, to build back up and run two teams. The way the school has started was through the man who started it, Scott Heister, who was the lead robotics coach for the Team 66. And he saw the success that students received through these relationships with these mentors from careers, right? So these adults coming in, working with students, teaching their skills, kind of going through this whole process with the robotics team and competing, and that changed students' lives and like kind of set them on a track for careers or success or to overcome obstacles in life. And so that's kind of the basis of our school and where those ideas come from. And so this was our robot from last year, actually the last 2 years. So basically for our team, we have a design or a competition that is released in January, and then we have to build a robot to compete in that competition. So we don't know what the robot has to do. So that was our robot from last year that had to shoot into a goal, and also had to pick up these power cells or balls and pick them up and then shoot them. So oops, next slide. We don't need to see that again. All right. So how does the early middle college work? So this is, out of all the middle college in the area, this is kind of the typical way students take like kind of high school level classes that they need to require, and then they transition into taking college level classes. So with us, usually first and second year, so freshman and sophomore, it is high school classes and the requirements that you typically need to meet for high school. And then through, seeing where you're at, if you're ready for college classes, or if you're doing well in your high school classes and pass those and on track to graduate, then you transition into taking college classes. So usually junior year, we have students who are half-time at the high school in the morning, and then in the afternoon, they're taking college classes at WCC. And what's great about an early middle college program is we have it planned so that way these college classes can also count as high school credit. So typically juniors would take English, an English class at the community college, and that counts as their English 11 credit. So it's not like you're taking English 11 and taking an English class, you would replace your high school classes with that. And then for your senior year, the goal is you're full time, unless you need to take a high school math class still, because we want students to be successful at college level before, like in other classes, before getting into the math level. And for all these, for high school, be able to take high school or college English or college math, you have to test at the level that WCC has set for students to take college level classes. So we can always go into that later if you have questions on it, but this isn't like a guarantee you're gonna take college classes. You gotta be at the level for college, and we'll talk about the supports for that. And you have to be doing well in your high school classes and have the soft skills ready for that. If you're missing and not showing up to class or not doing work on time, like that affects whether you can dual enroll, because we want you to be successful in college. And those are some of the predictors of that. And then with middle colleges, early middle colleges, you can get this 5th year of basically funding from the state to pay for your college classes. So we have, you always have a group of fifth years, we call them the 5th years, where I don't really see them because they're at WCC and we are just, paying their way and checking in on them. So our dual enrollment coordinator constantly checks in, every week. They have to give an update on how they're doing. And that way, if they need support, they can get it. They could still use, the technology provided by the school, and any other, resources we have here, they can have access to. So basically it's a year, it's like a scholarship. You can think about it like that. You did well in high school, you earned a scholarship and you have a free, full year at WCC. And the goal is while you're taking these classes, you are going toward Faith, I'll answer your question in a second. Where's that? Oh yeah. So it's what was I saying? Yeah, it's like a scholarship basically for a whole year, of extra college. And oh yeah, so we plan for the classes you are taking are on a track to that's they're transferable credits, right? So it's not just randomly selecting college classes, it's ones toward a plan at a four-year university or toward a certificate or towards something that can advance you into a career, if that's the path you're taking. So this is very similar to WTMC. WTMC is just based on the college campus, and you have less, I think, high school classes to take, because they're right on campus, and so there's a little more flexibility with when you're going to take your college classes there. And I'll talk about some of the sport, like what sets us apart a little different from them too, but it's still the same. You can still get that extra year in of free college, unless you kind of meet that ahead of time. But you can get up to an associate's degree as long as you dual enroll, right away, and you're taking those classes, meeting our kind of schedule guidelines. Right. So let me go over this here. So this is just kind of an outline of the typical progression of earning credits, right? So in high school, you have a certain number of credits you need to graduate, for high school, and certain English credits, math, science, English, that's English, social studies, you got various credits you need to meet. And so if you see the column on the left, that's your STEM credits or the high school credits, and then you get your WCC credits. So it kind of phases you into being more full-time at WCC. And every WCC class you take counts as a whole high school credit, like a whole year of a high school class. So in the end, you can end up with 35 high school credits. Now, with the way our graduation requirements go, 25, you have 25 required. And if you have questions about those specifics later, I can point to that on the website later. And then the goal is you get 60 transferable credits or an associate's degree by the time you are finished with us. And off on to whatever else you're doing. So why STEM? Why would you choose our school? Well, by dual enrolling, you save money. So, just like the early middle college programs, you can save, a ton of money by doing, your 2 years associate's degree through, one of those schools like ours. And so if you can look at what's the price? What's the price? So it's like over $7,000 if you think about it as WCC credits. But then if you think about where you're transferring to, and what that converts to, that's kind of the price value. If you're going to U of M and transfer there, which many of our students have, and also EMU since they're local, you could save like, $26,000 to $36,000 by starting with us and doing that during, high school. So year 1 and 2. So I know a lot of you who are here would be transferring in as 10th graders. If you start as a 9th grader, basically it's the same classes, most high schools have as their freshman year, graduation requirements by the state. But we have intro to engineering and intro to manufacturing as they're 2 separate semesters. Those credits, half credit is earned from each one. And if you're transferring not, you didn't take those your freshman year, but you have all your other basics in, or maybe you took Spanish 1, and so it's just kind of a little flip flop. Then you kind of just flip flop that with your elective class. So you could take intro to engineering, intro to manufacturing next year, or you could always take it your year after that. There's not a requirement that you have to have that done, before you. It just has to be before you graduate. This summer, we are doing a program that actually some of you still could join in if you want, because we pushed back the official start of our project work till next week. Through our Grizzly Learning Camp, we're doing a Dare to Design session, which is partnering with EMU and some professors there. We have one professor who's been in this week, working with students kind of on some background work. But next week, we're gonna jump into basically going through the design process and creating a product that will solve a problem. And through this, it's 3 weeks, starting next week, it'll be 3 weeks. The Dare to Design session goes from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Really 12:30, I guess you could get out. But that will count, if you do these 3 weeks, it'll count your intro to engineering and intro to manufacturing credits. So you could be, not have to worry about doing that next year if you wanted to transfer in now, if you got into that. So if you are interested in doing that, you're free the next 3 weeks, starting next week. You can even come this week and get started with, kind of getting to know things. You are open to do that. So we can talk about that after, once we get to the Q&A, or we can talk privately after this meeting. And 10th grade is when you typically have a little more flexibility with that elective. You get to pick which direction you want to go. If you want to do an internship, or kind of work toward an internship with our YCS at Work program, or if you want to do a business entrepreneur class, or if you want to do advanced engineering or advanced manufacturing, those typically when those electives kind of fit in there. Physics, I will be teaching physics next year. So all 10th and 11th graders this year will probably be taking physics. We skipped physics last year. I decided not to teach that during a pandemic and just focus on a specific class. So we kind of rearranged our scheduling to make that work. And so then I can focus on physics this year, which I'm pretty excited about. All right, so there's a couple more things, and then we'll kind of get to a Q&A time. So intro to engineering and manufacturing, we're just talking about those classes and other STEM electives, like I was saying, and also extracurricular activities or opportunities after school. We go through designing, building, applying math and science and design in different activities and projects. And no students here with us today. How to enroll, I'm going to show this kind of quickly here. Now, because of the pandemic, there's kind of a reanalyzing of things, right? Like for one thing, grades. I know some students, last year was really hard, okay? So there's not so much judgment. We can kind of look at, well, how'd you do before? And, what's your drive? Like, what do you want to do? Is really outweighs kind of sometimes some of the stuff with last year. Now, if you failed classes last year, that's a concern, because then you're starting out behind and that would be an issue. But not necessarily, looking at you have to have all A's or B's. But I think a lot of you did, which shows you're really strong to get through a pandemic and end up on top there. So that's great. NWA scores, we didn't even do testing last year, so it's not something we necessarily look at this year very much. If you have an interest in STEM, or you interested in some kind of career path, like through college, and you already know what you want to do, that's a good thing too, because then this is that path to get you there. And we already got teacher recommendations. That was one kind of into the program. I thought I had a slide on some of the other, I wonder if I skipped it. 1 second. Oh, there it is. Because I kept saying I was going to talk about these things, and then I was like, I missed it. So we'll come back to the how to register and how to enroll if needed. Flexibility, right? This is our blending of high school and college. So some of the things that we offer that I'm not sure if the other early middle college programs offer, but I know it's something that sets us apart is one-to-one technology, even internet access for students. We might still be able to offer that this year due to the pandemic specifically. Transportation. So, if you are in the Ypsilanti School District area or Ypsilanti Community Schools area, you get transportation to the high school and then also to college from the high school. Flexible start, so because we are housed in the high school, if you're not ready at a certain, by 11th grade, you're not ready to dual enroll, you're not kicked out of our program or anything. You'll just take, very different high school classes until we can get you that spot. At some point, if you don't dual enroll by the time you're a senior, then, that's a different case. But you can still take high school classes and not like, you don't have to leave, you don't have to like change it, majorly change schools or anything. And advisory mentoring, like a kind of a weekly check-in with teachers. This continues when you're dual enrolling with the dual enrollment coordinator or myself. Last year, I met with all the new dual enrolled students every week, so I could check in with them, help them out as needed, encourage them. College lab classes, we have a lot of students taking the same class. We've done college lab classes before where they get the support from teachers. And high school involved. This is like the biggie, right? So like if you're at a different school that's not, it's based on a college campus, you don't have like the high school activities right there, like sports, our robotics team, band, choir, any other clubs or after school programs, you don't have that. So that's one thing that we have here, even like Bright Futures, Upward Bound, like you have that support through these other programs that I don't know necessarily if those are at other early middle college programs. That is what we offer, and that's something I think it sets us apart. We also have CTE programs that can work with our WCC enrollment. Like we had students do auto body, auto tech kind of programs, and then they go to WCC to take the college level of those. So they can start out here and do that. Culinary, it's another one of those. We had several students who did culinary and were in STEM. And then, it just might change when they do enroll, but it still allows them to get some experience and then get that next level in college, the support through that. All right, so how to enroll. And then I think I can just talk about these upcoming opportunities. Yeah. Actually, let me do the opportunities first. Just so I already talked about the Dare to Design program. I didn't add that in here, but we are also starting up our summer robotics program. We have off-season meetings. So I said our team doesn't officially start till January, our team season, but we're doing off-season work, and a lot of it is going to be with including the middle school students. So we're going to be working with the Rev robots, which is this kind of smaller version of our robots. We're going to do some programming and some building of the robots and driving them, along with our full-size robot. So I won't get into that. Follow us on social media so you can be in the loop on stuff going on. So just check Grizzly Robotics or Ypsi STEM in the big three, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, just to stay up in the loop on things. I'm going to go back to how to enroll, just for those who get several here who might be interested. So basically from the school website, that's where I'm going to go through. And then I'll stop recording after this point. Okay, so YCschools.us is our district website. And if you go to enrollment, there it is. Oh, that's employment. Where's that? I thought there was enrollment. That's where I just went here. Let's see. I think it might be at the bottom. Oh, there it is. Enrollment. A little bit toward the bottom. And so here is, I'm going to put this for STEM specifically. This is just it's not like an actual, the whole application. It's more of a contact me. And some of you already filled that out. But I'm just going to throw this link. Oh, that's not it. What? All right. I'm going to share the link of what I thought I had. Oh, that's from our website. So from our actual school website, I got something else. So don't worry about that there. But if you are not a YCS student, I just want to show quickly this because I know we had some students who are transferring in from other districts that I've talked to. So this is the enrollment procedure, or are the enrollment procedures. If you click on that link through the enrollment page, it goes step by step with the link of how to get into this registration system. So you go into there, set up an account, and that's how you would register. So for those who are already in YCS, basically what you need to do is make sure to fill out this other form, which is, I should probably make sure they link it to that page. I don't have control over that page. So if we go to schools and we go to Ypsilanti STEM Middle College, this is our actual website here. This one has the link to, this is the STEM Middle College application. And this is the form that if you already completed this, you don't need to. It just helps me keep track of who's interested. So I am going to put this in the chat right now to everyone. So if you did not complete this form and you're still interested, just complete that form. And that way I will check in with you, see if you need more information or if you have questions or if you're still interested or not. So I'm going to stop recording now. Now we are going to be at the time for some question and answer. And I don't want you to worry about being recorded.